Hi, everybody. Gary Francione for the Abolitionist Approach. Last week I did a video in which I argued that vegans should not eat, say, potatoes that are fried in oil or that oil has also been used to fry animal bodies. And I argued that vegans ought not to eat discarded animal products. I used the example of dumpster diving, but it doesn't really matter. It's the idea that you have discarded products, things that have been thrown away, animal products which have been thrown away. Is it okay for vegans to eat those discarded animal products? And I argued that no, it is not. Vegans do not eat, wear, or use animal products to the extent practicable. Now, a number of you wrote and asked me why that's problematic when it's not resulting in an increase in demand. So, by eating the discarded animal product, you're not generating demand for more animal products, at least not directly. And the answer to that question is that it's not just a matter of whether your conduct results in an increase in demand or contributes to an increase in demand. It's a question of whether your conduct normalizes animal exploitation and involves a participation by you in institutionalized animal exploitation that denies the idea that veganism is a matter of fundamental justice, that if animals matter morally, we cannot use them as commodities. We cannot eat them, wear them, or use them. Now, I would argue that in both the situation where you're eating the potatoes that have been fried in oil, in which animal bodies have also been fried, which, as I say, is really no different from lard, or eating the discarded hamburgers or the discarded ice cream or the discarded eggs or whatever, cheese, you are normalizing animal exploitation. You're participating in the institutionalized exploitation of animals. There's no doubt about that. You're also making a statement that you do not see veganism as a matter of fundamental justice. Now, Peter Singer has the example where you're sitting in a restaurant, you order something you think is vegan, and it comes with some animal products sprinkled on top. And he asks, should you send it back or should you just eat it? Now, his position is that if you make a fuss about it, then you send out the message that being a vegan is difficult and that ultimately doesn't help animals, so you should just eat it. Could also be argued that you're not increasing the demand. You're not, your conduct is not resulting in an increase in demand. You didn't want it in the first place, and they're going to throw it away anyway. So you're not doing anything that's going to affect demand. But what you are doing when you eat the animal products is you're participating in the institutionalized exploitation of animals. You're normalizing that exploitation, and you're making a statement to everyone who's with you who knows that you're vegan, that you don't take your veganism very seriously. You certainly don't regard it as a matter of fundamental justice, because if you did, you wouldn't eat the animal products. You wouldn't reinforce the idea that animals are things to eat or to produce things to eat. You wouldn't do that at all. And so it's not just a matter of whether or not your conduct increases demand directly. It's a question of whether or not your conduct is actually a statement that you participate in the institutionalized exploitation of animals, whether your conduct normalizes that exploitation. And I would argue in those instances, it certainly does. For information about veganism, go to our website, howdoigovegan.com, and thank you very much for listening.